everybody, and welcome back to G Bear's Off-Grid Ways, the homestead of the desert. And yes, I'm out here in the battery room. It was a little cooler today, about 9 degrees cooler. It dropped down from 111 degrees. It's been the last couple of days, and it was only 108 degrees. Wasn't that hot? No, sorry. It was 103 degrees today. So that was a 9-degree drop in the temperatures that we've been having, and it felt a little bit better, but still not the best. All right, we're going to start off tonight with response to a question from one of my viewers. And what's that question? Well, that person asked, how come whenever I go to hook up my cables to my inverter, they get a big arc? How do I stop that? What's going on? All right. That's a standard problem that everybody's going to have with inverters. That's because inverters have capacitors in them, and the capacitors can be either loaded or want to load very quickly as soon as they receive power. So how do you stop it? Very simply with either one of these or one of these. What are they? They're battery cutoff switches. They call this a nylite switch. And you can take out one of the sides here so you can get your cables in to connect here. Now, how do you use it? Well, you're going to have a cable like this one that comes from your battery to your inverter. So you can hook up your negative if you want, or you can do this on the negative side. It doesn't matter which side you do it on. So I leave the negative here connected. We'll disconnect here and take the positive off. So the positive would go on to one of the posts of the switch, either that one or this one. Alright, now with the switch in the off position, that's where the arrow points at the red here, that's off, green is on. Okay, so in the off position, you now have your battery cable coming from the positive battery connected to the first bolt on here. Now you're going to need a short cable, and that's going to come off of this post and connect to your inverter. You won't get a spark when you're hooking it up. Okay? There will be no spark because you actually did not make contact from the battery to the inverter yet. That won't happen until you turn the switch on. Alright? But you won't get a spark when you turn the switch on because there's no gap between the connections. That's what happens when you get close with the connection. A arc jumps from the wire to the post, trying to get that power in there. A power-hungry little baby. It wants your electricity. It wants it fast. Okay, so that's the simple way to get around it. Now there are other methods, but they're a little more complicated. You can go online and buy a heavy-duty resistor, and then connect the resistor to your cable first, touch the other end of the wire on the resistor to your post for a few seconds, 30 seconds or so, and then you can make your connection without it jumping a spark. What that did was the resistance drained off the electricity between the two posts, so you don't get a jump in the arc. Alright, that's how easy that is. And that happens with all of your inverters, because the inverters all have capacitors inside of them. And if capacitor is loaded, people that don't understand what a capacitor is, it's basically a quick release battery. It charges up instantly as soon as electricity touches it, and it releases it quickly whenever it can. Okay, so capacitors are handy in electronics when you want to boost the power very quickly, because you can get power into it and then shoot power out of it within a second, and the power coming out is always higher than the power going in, because it stores it up, builds it up inside of the capacitor, and then when it's released, it sends it all out at once. For those of you who are into automotives, remember in the old days in cars they had what they called a condenser in the distributor cap. The condenser was a capacitor. It had only one wire on it, and then it had a little wing sticking out of the back end where you screw it down to the base of the distributor. Well, that would charge up and release power, so your battery, your 12-volt battery, would charge that condenser or capacitor, build up the voltage in it, and then release it all at once. And it would zoom down to the spark plugs at like 150 volts DC and 150,000 volts DC, and cause a spark in the spark plug to ignite your fuel. All right, so that's an explanation for that. I'm glad a lot of you enjoyed yesterday's video on electricity and batteries and LiPo4 and all of that stuff, and it spurred some questions, so I'm answering the questions as I go. Now, oh, the winds are blowing nicely. I just saw the weather report. It said they could get up to 46 miles per hour yet tonight. So the chickens are loving their swimming pool. They, when it's really super hot, they stand in that just enough to get up to their ankles, and that cools their whole body down. So when it's really super hot out, the winds are blowing now and they got shade, so they're not in there. But when it's super hot out, they just stand in there and just relax, and it keeps them nice and cool. Okay, I got to fix that door because it's warped and it's jammed and it won't go up and down. So I'm thinking about, I've got some 1/4-inch thick aluminum diamond plate, and I think I might make a door out of that. That won't warp ever. And I'll just replace that. To see if I can get to it tomorrow, maybe. What you doing in there, lady? Oh, you can't have my chickens. All right. Winds have been tearing the heck out of that cover. It won't be long before it's completely shredded. But not much I can do about it. Can you imagine trying to get up there on a ladder and try to deal with that, with it blowing like that? Amazing. All right. I hope the wind's not bothering you too much. I'm heading back up this way. I shot the, Wednesday short already, and I posted that earlier today. But I did want to get out and get this video going. So that's the way it is. I like it. Whew. Yeah, it's not so windy over here with the wind blocks in the way. Turbine's cranking away, but it's got nothing to do. It's got no power, no place to put its power. So hopefully we're supposed to have a cool down here in the next few days, and I'm going to get my all-in-one installed and get my wiring and batteries rewired and get everything hooked up, so I'll be on the new system. And keep your fingers crossed that it does cool down. This is G Bear, thanking you for joining me. Don't forget, thumbs up. Click that thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. Now, very quickly before I cut off, I've had comments that subscribe isn't free. It's a minimum of $3.99 or something like that. That's not true. If you're getting the $3.99 thing, you are clicking on the join, Join, and that is to join as a paid patron of my channel. Okay, now you do get extra perks when you do that, So if you're interested in that, go ahead and click the join and make a pledge of anywhere from $3.99 to $500.99. I don't care. Just make your pledge. There's different levels. I think I got 5 different levels in there. But to subscribe, all you have to do is click the subscribe right next to the little bell icon. Now remember, if you've already clicked that and you click it again, you're going to unsubscribe. So don't do that. So you can check to see if it says you are subscribed on there. So just click it. If it says subscribed, you're good. If it says unsubscribe, then you just dropped off my channel. And I've seen a few people do that just recently. They clicked the subscribe and they were already subscribed, and I just lost 4 subscribers in the last day and a half. So check what you're doing there. If you have any questions, ask me in the comments and I'll guide you through it. I can get on my desktop computer and show you exactly what to do. All right, thanks for joining me, everybody. This is G Bear signing off.